Hello, and welcome to the Precap, a daily show podcast where we sit down with this week's host to preview what's coming up and recap some of the latest news. I am Nicole Conlan. I'm a writer at The Daily Show, and I am joined today by the one and only Josh Johnson. Hi, Josh.
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing my best. How are you?
I'm good. It's been obviously like a crazy week, so I'm feeling a little insane. But I mean, I'm fine.
Yeah, it's a very honest answer. You know.
Thank you. People are always like, "Oh, how's the Daily Show going? How is it?" And it's like the show is great.
Mm-hmm.
The milieu of the news in which we work every day is very bad.
Yeah.
So there is a contrast between my job is great, but the focus of my job not great.
It's also not even just bad. It's like, I don't know who it's good for. There are some times where you look back, especially if you take it back to like, I don't know, Bush era, and there could be people who are like, oh, I just don't think about politics that much, or I don't get into politics. And there was more than politics to talk about.
Yeah.
But politics just seemed to like seep its way into everything else. And then there would be things that happened that you could take a real side or stance on.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like more and more there'll be something that happens where I'm like, look, maybe it's my biased opinion, but this is starting to seem objectively bad. I don't know how you could be like, oh, well, that's good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of objectively bad, let's talk about some things that we missed.
Okay.
We were so preoccupied with the impending civil war at home that we haven't really talked a lot on the show about how there's a whole impending war with Greenland as well.
Yeah.
And now European troops have arrived in Greenland to boost the Arctic island's security. And these are troops from France, Germany, Norway, Sweden, and Denmark.
Yeah, I mean, I have to commend you on having such great presentation and voice
so
that as you deliver lines that are clearly dystopian, you actually do it with the cadence of like a sci-fi post-apocalyptic opening.
Thank you. I did go to acting school for 1 year, so that's paying off now.
Because you were like, instead of this civil war, there could be another civil war. So. Yeah, I think that's part of what I was talking about when I'm like, that seems very bad.
Yeah.
That seems very bad that your other, NATO allies are like, we may have to shoot you.
Yeah.
That's one of those things where I don't know who feels good about this.
Well,
maybe I don't know enough people, but I feel like I don't know anybody that's like, this is actually phenomenal.
There is one guy who's a one-issue voter for Trump who was like, we got to get Greenland.
We got to get Greenland because I've only been once, and I think I'd like to be in a shorter line.
Yeah, I did not like the exchange rate.
I didn't love the exchange rate, and when I landed, the line with your passport, it'd be easier if it just said, you have a U.S. passport, come on through.
So I know that everything they say is a lie, and this is not why they're doing it. But the reason that Trump keeps giving is we need it for security. We need it for security. We need it for security of both our security and Europe's security. But the thing is, like, the whole point of NATO is like we can kind of delegate that so we don't have to do all the security. So you're sort of just making more work. Like Greenland was secure.
It was secure. I don't know what I try to never enter any argument that the administration makes as if it's a good faith argument.
100%.
And I think it's a weird thing to me it seems like breaking into your neighbor's house to make sure they weren't about to break in yours. Yeah. Cuz now you've opened up yourself to stand your ground laws.
Yeah.
While saying it's all to protect your family.
Yeah.
It's a very bad logic.
It's weird to not be able to take them at anything on face value because, like, in previous wars, for example, like going to Iraq was like, well, they have weapons of mass destruction. And you're like, that's a lie. You want it for oil. And now with Venezuela, they're like, we're doing it for the oil. And then in Greenland, now they're saying this national security stuff, but they were like, we're doing it because the ice is going to melt and there's minerals there and we want the minerals. And so my gut reaction is like, but that's not why you're really doing it because you never say why you're going to do it. But that is, I think, why you're doing it, do you have some other like even more ulterior motive that I can't even
I think they
process?
no, I think they've just switched over. I think they realized that the people who they would have been giving some sort of excuse for don't care
or don't have any power.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's you know those people that are like ethically non-monogamous that would be cheating if their partner hadn't agreed to be ethically non-monogamous. You know what I mean? Like there are people in like these open relationships where you're like, oh, that that works for you and you're happy. And then there's those people who are in those open relationships where I'm like, I could tell you were about to cheat anyway.
Yeah.
And we really lucked out that they didn't care. And that's what this feels like. It's like they could have come up with some, I mean, if anything, it felt lazy to me that they didn't lean on more at least, or make it seem like the sole purpose of entering Venezuela was as some form of like humanitarian duty over how Maduro treated the people and what he had done to them over time and everything. And instead of any of that, instead of any pretext of like, we are going to be the administration of peace, we don't plan to get into a war with this country, we actually just wanted to topple this regime because we see how poorly these people are being treated. Instead of any of that, they were like, we do like oil.
Yeah.
And it's like that. It rings really reminiscent to me of someone who was about to write an entire speech about how we'd actually be a stronger couple if we weren't held down by society's standards of what it means to be in a strong, united household. And then before they could even speak, the other person's like, hey, are you like kind of bored? That's what it feels like. So I take at face value some of what they say. I just don't take the arguments made as good faith.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've had Trump as a president and as a political figure for a little over a decade now. And I think in that time, if you have not been able to fully discern what some of I'm not saying everyone should be in his head. He's not even in his head. But like if you haven't been able to find the patterns, then that's a sign that maybe you have like no political prowess, because he does this thing over and over where he lets his cronies say what it's about, then he says what it's really about, and then that ends up being what it's about.
Yeah.
Never once have they come out said, oh no, the Jimmy Kimmel thing isn't because Trump doesn't like him. It's, look at his ratings, look at his blah, blah, blah. Trump will then come out and be like, it is exactly what you think it is.
Yeah.
Through and through. And then make those people look dumb. Never has Trump come out, said what it was about, and then it turned out to be about what everyone around him said it was about.
Yeah.
Like he tells the truth when he feels like it, when he's tired of like keeping up with the lie.
Yeah.
It's the same way he can't stay on a teleprompter.
Yeah.
And so I think that with Greenland, to me, it doesn't seem like a real plan. It's like you don't need anything here.
Yeah.
Not really, because I don't even understand how getting the minerals from Greenland will benefit your base. Like like the people who are in every state that voted for you in large numbers, who are struggling right now through the tariff, who are struggling right now through the inflation, who affordability is becoming their primary concern. I don't know how those minerals are going to help them. They'll help people who need the minerals, like people who own businesses that make microchips and whatever, like need the minerals. But I don't know, if you're just like a farmer in Kentucky, I'm not sure how those minerals are going to benefit you. And so there are all of these big wins that work on a federal level for you to look back and say you improved whatever like the asset class of what the government owns is. I don't know if any of that ever finds its way to, trickles down, or becomes present in the lives, the everyday lives of the people who you say you're doing this for.
Well, I think the minerals themselves will probably trickle down into their water supply.
Yeah, I guess there's that. Yeah.
Into the lead pipes that we will put into their houses, and I think that's the main way that the trickling down will happen to
Yeah,
those people.
I could see that. That makes sense because I feel like for a country that's already willing to poison its people with the runoff from building and maintaining a data center, I have a hard time believing that any treasures you find in the way of minerals or oil, like any sort of increases in fossil fuels, is actually going to take us to some sort of like next level as a people. That's why it feels like we are speed running the end of an empire for no reason. I don't know what it gets you to. Who knows? I guess deport half the country is the goal or something. Like deport so many people that everyone left is like white and in an ICE uniform. I don't know what that really gets you.
It's, I think, going to be the same thing as when they like chased everybody that they didn't like off of Twitter. Like Elon Musk bought it, and then all of the a lot of people left, and then now they're just kind of fighting with each other. And then in America, it's just going to be them fighting with each other, but this time in person.
Yeah. I don't know. Some of these things you can look at. Obviously, you can look at history, but you can look at not even history. You can look like on the internet at the current state of another country that did it and be like, that doesn't work. Like if you look at the Fed with Jerome Powell and them investigating Jerome Powell and all this stuff and how he's almost out anyway, so it doesn't even make any sense. And Trump's going to replace Jerome Powell with someone they'll do what Trump wants, which will essentially be like Trump controlling the Fed, which makes it so that Trump controls the interest rate, which makes it so that we will be Trump's 7th bankrupt casino. You know, like I don't know if you have money in America. Maybe everyone is, I guess, this greedy. But if you have money in America, you would think that you would want to maintain the money you have instead of reach for money that doesn't exist yet that could cost you the money you have. Like, it's such a kid in a cookie jar mentality of like what more could be.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to make that funny. Like, I don't think
we'll figure it out by Tuesday.
It will be the work of everyone else that makes it funny. That is, I can say that with confidence. You know, I could say with confidence that I'll sit in the morning meeting and I'll be in a 1,000-yard stare, and you and Devin and Kat and Joe and Matt and everybody will have jokes. Like Randall and Ashton will have jokes, and I'll just be like, all right, yeah. I'll say it like this so it doesn't feel like we're all going to die.
Let's switch over to another really fun, awesome topic, which is ice in Minnesota.
Yeah.
We've talked about it on the show.
Mm-hmm.
There are obviously not a lot of fun angles to it.
Sure.
But one thing that is like cool to see and doesn't immediately make me want to like crawl into bed is there's a lot of like cool or not cool but fun to talk about protesters who are going out there and are standing up to ICE. And one of the coolest ones this week was this guy. He's a Vietnam vet. His hat says he's a Vietnam vet. And if you can't trust a hat, what can you trust?
Yeah.
But he's a Vietnam vet. He's wearing a giant fur coat and he's shouting at ICE. And we'll play some of that clip so you can hear it now.
I hope you can see through those thick-ass glasses that you f***ed up. You stand there and sanction this bullshit, and they kill a woman.
But then there's also this edit that somebody put Nas's ether under it. Have you seen this?
Yeah.
A bunch of bitches if I've ever seen a bunch. And I'm telling you to your face. And if you don't like it, f*** you.
It's cool. It's not cool for me, a middle-aged white lady, to be like, wow, this Nas track is so cool. But it is cool.
Yeah. I mean, I will say, if you put Nas under most things, it does enhance them. You know?
That's what I got married last year, and that's what I should have done during my wedding vows, is just put Nas underneath it. And everybody was like, wow, she's really dissing her husband, but it's cool.
It's like really, really cool.
Yeah.
You know, he better marry her.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I look at the situation with ICE in Minnesota and most of what is happening with ICE, and it's like, our job is to do comedy and be funny, but sometimes every once in a while something is happening that is so bad, it's a lot like trying to pull from it to be funny or trying to make some sort of joke, feels like if you witness someone be stabbed. So you witness someone be stabbed and you see the whole thing go down, and then you have to do jokes about it, and you're like, I guess he did make a funny noise when he got stabbed. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when you're pulling from it, you're pulling in a way that is like that you would hope meets the moment, because I think that we can not just like entertain ourselves to death. I think we can actually we can actually sometimes, even in comedy, make things feel a bit more distant than they really are. And I look at what's happening in Minnesota, and it's like, well, then these are the people who would do something about it if that thing happened. If this is happening right now.
Yeah.
So whenever people look at historical events, or whenever they look at like comparisons to make, or history repeating itself, whatever, and they wonder what they would have done, I'm not the first person to say this, I'm sure. Whatever you're doing now is what you would have been doing then. So if you look at the people who sort of like took no action, or complied in advance, or just talked about the sort of letter of the law over anything that is moral and just, I think that is what you would have been doing then, because it's what you're doing now. Like, this is your chance.
Right.
But like, I think that anybody who is looking at what's happening in Minnesota as if it is something happening in Argentina, it's like, I think people are fooling themselves that it's not going to come to your doorstep, that things will just like quiet down there, that nothing ever really happens as like a big sort of like black pill thing that helps people quell their anxiety. It's like, well, none of this really matters. And it's like, I think it's going to matter to you. I think it'll matter to you when you get pulled out of your car on your way to work, Yeah. And the idea that those things aren't happening, or the idea that there's going to be some resolution without you getting involved, is like how every atrocity and tragedy throughout history happens. Like really not being able to put yourself there. It's like, it's here now, and it's happening now. This isn't like a history lesson. You're not sitting in civics class watching this happen to people in black and white, TV footage. It's like they are pulling people out of their car, going door to door, asking people for their papers, all the stuff like that. And I think a lot of people are easily able to compare it to like the Gestapo and stuff,
right?
Because that still feels distant and foreign. What's happening now, and I've seen some other people online say it's like what's happening now is way closer to like slave patrols. It's way closer to like, well, we got to make sure this person didn't escape, so we're going to go door to door. We're going to ask people for their papers. If you get involved, you are jeopardizing, or you are obstructing a legal investigation. All these excuses have been used before. And so I think that you can't just treat it like everything's going to go away. We're very good at doing that. We even do that with our war. Like, war is a thing that we export. It's not something that happens here. And I think that you go back to some of the first battles of the Civil War, those people had never seen war before. And the people in the town, I mean. So there are instances where there were recorded instances of people from the town knowing where a battle was going to be, and going out and having a picnic at the top of a hill and watching it, because they don't know what it is, they don't understand, and they don't think it's real. Then when they see like the horror of war, now it's hit home. And so that's in our nature as people. Like, sometimes you don't learn until you're the one that gets hit, or it happens right in front of you, or something like that. Even more so than what is happening in Minnesota being scary, I think it's scary to see how people can still like activate all of their cognitive dissonance, activate all of their like confirmation bias, or just every sort of bias that makes it so they don't have to do anything. It's in like a hyperdrive right now. And so I talk to some people, because I try to make friends with everybody so I can know what everybody's saying and what people are thinking. And there are just some people that are still in a mindset that this is like happening on on the screen,
right,
and not anywhere in real life.
So let me ask you a question. I see you as like a very like wise, well-spoken person. I know a lot of your fans do also. And I totally agree with you that this is the moment that's like what you do now is what you would have done then. So I often feel that way. And then I'm like, well, should I drop everything? Should I physically go to Minnesota and give critical support and put myself on the line? Am I a bad person if I don't do that? What does what you do now being what you would have done then, like what is our responsibility?
I think of it this way. You know how this is maybe too like abstract of an idea, but hopefully this makes sense. You look at a road, right? Especially like a brick road laid from point A to point B. Mm-hmm. Every brick laid from point A to point B is very important. It makes up the road. But one brick can only be in one place. So this brick right here can't be this brick over here. That would actually be a problem for the road.
That would be sort of a wormhole situation.
It would be now if every brick is trying to be other bricks, you have a bunch of unevenness. You barely have a road. And so every brick working together, perfectly cemented together where it belongs best is how you get a smooth road from point A to point B. If the point A to point B that you want is like where masked federal agents aren't grabbing people out of their cars, out of their jobs, people who are U.S. citizens, if they're actually afraid, deeply, deeply afraid to make a mistake, if they're deeply, deeply afraid to carry out operations that are probably unconstitutional and illegal, if you want to live in that world, right, then there are all of these people that make up the road to that world, point A to point B. And I think that there are some people that are all the way to point A. These are like the frontline people. These are the people in Minnesota right now because they have to be, because they live there. Mm-hmm. Maybe if this was happening in Dayton, Ohio, some of those people in Minnesota wouldn't be out in the street, but it's happening where they are. So then they become the frontline people. And I think that, I'm not saying that this is not some mandate to you, but if this was happening in New York,
please tell me what to do. Please give me a mandate.
But I guess I'm saying, like, if this was happening in New York, maybe you would be one of those people out there. Mm-hmm. Maybe your Saturday becomes, I'm gonna go protest, or I'm gonna go try to help people, bring whatever. To help people who get pepper sprayed, and maybe you're in the back, maybe you're in the back lines, and then people get pepper sprayed, they come back, they come to you, you help them with their eyes or something like that. You call people for people, you make sure people get home safe, whatever that thing is. So you have the road that is like front line. Mm-hmm. Those people are there, and obviously if there was the ability to have a protest where people showed up in numbers of 120,000 every single day to protest the operations of ICE, that'd be like beautiful and overwhelming. Like people would know what to do with that sort of thing. But we also have to live life. People have responsibilities. They have their kids, and they are living life the best way that they possibly can. So then that's the front line. Then you have these bricks over here. These bricks over here are people trying to spread as much education, spread as much of the word as possible. You have people who are trying to educate people on what their rights are, because it's no mistake that our rights don't get talked to us, mm-hmm. And so if you can be informing, and this is a thing now that anybody can do, and I think everybody should do, is that if you can learn to the full, every period, comma, every apostrophe, if you can learn your rights top to bottom, and you can learn not just your rights, but also what to do in certain situations. Because you saw the lady that the woman ran into her house, the DoorDash lady, mm-hmm. and ICE was trying to get her to give up that lady. This woman calls the police because she's like, this thing doesn't feel right. Yeah. Because if they could come get her, they would have kicked my door open now. So then she calls the police.
Yeah.
But then the police tell her, like, yeah, just give the lady up. Like, the police are like, I'm not saying the police are always and in every city on ICE's side or trying to help ICE in every possible operation, because the police are also bound to a lot more than these federal agents are, which is why the federal agents are masked up, because I think it terrifies ICE that one day there may be a record of everyone who is in there, everything about who they are and what they did.
Bad news, because a big file of that was leaked. Some sort of leaker released the personal information of 4,500 ICE and Customs and Border Patrol agents online. But basically a huge file of these officers. Should I call them officers?
I think they're agents.
Agents.
Yeah.
A huge file of these agents' information was leaked. So despite the masks and everything, we can still look through it and know who they are. 4,500's a lot.
4,500 is like a quarter, as far as I understand it right now.
Yeah.
Like, there's not that many ICE agents.
There's not. And that's the thing is, like, they're doing this concentrated in Minnesota right now because they don't have the manpower to do it everywhere. And there are definitely still ICE agents and CBP agents in other big cities, but they can only do a full court press on one metropolitan area at a time.
And I also think that's where some of the fear plays in. It's like, just like with billionaires, just like with CEOs of companies. I think one of the mad rushes towards AI and towards like the automation of everything is so that this class of people, or this small group of people, will finally live in a world where they can step aside from an inevitability. And that inevitability almost always is that there is always more of us than them if they want to play an us than them game, you know? And so I think that when you see them move with, you see Kristi Noem up here at the podium with like one of us, all of you, whatever the slogan is, it's like, that's dumb. That's very dumb. That is equivalent.
Yeah, your slogan is "You are stronger than me."
Yeah, that is me walking into a biker bar being like, "Who wants some? I'll take everybody first." It's crazy. I think that having like your mask on, or like thinking you have whatever J.D. Vance made up of absolute immunity, which doesn't exist. That's like J.D. Vance, as someone with a law degree, knows better than to go out there and be like, these officers have absolute immunity. It's like, that is not going to hold up in court, especially at a state level.
Yeah.
You already saw I think it was a police commissioner in Philly be like, if you come here and you do a crime, Trump cannot save you. Like, I know you're an idiot. I am begging you to not come here and do a crime.
I am trying to help you right now.
Yeah, because even the J6ers that he released, it's like, that took a while.
Yeah.
That took a while.
Yeah.
And it almost didn't happen because he I mean, to a certain degree, he couldn't pardon some of them because he was like out by the time some of them got arrested and were being put in jail. But it's like, that thing, I mean, I guess if you want to try it, I guess if you want to try spending a year and a half in jail because you felt like big dogging someone on their corner, then I guess you can give it a shot. But I don't even really think that many. And this isn't me trying to infantilize anyone or just look for the good in everyone. I think that you probably have a real spectrum as far as ICE agents are concerned. And I think that you definitely have some people who are like, oh no. Like they're out on the street, they've got their gun, they've got their mask, but they're also like, okay, well, I hope this doesn't backfire horribly. Yeah. Like, there's no way that
they're having their "Are we the baddies" moment.
I don't even know if they're asking it from a moral stance. I think
just from a perspective of there are more of them than there are of me.
Yeah.
Perspective.
They leave when you throw snowballs at them, and they have guns. Do you know what I mean? Like this is. I think being an ICE agent and knowing, especially like a day like that, where the dude who shot somebody left, and now people are screaming murderer, Nazi, and they're surrounding you and everything like that. I think that's a lot like when you watch World War Z and they're like, all right, you have a gun, but they're coming. Yeah. And how many bullets do you have? Yeah. And you think they're going to be calmer after you've shot 10 people? Right. Like, it's like, I think from a matter of self-preservation, it's really important to look at how these operations go. And that's why I cannot understand what anyone must be thinking. I don't know. I get it. $50,000 signing bonus. And maybe you're broke or whatever. Like, maybe that's what got you in. But I think there have got to be people who are like, looking around what is now becoming every day.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some of them love it. I think some of them are like fully chronically online, black pilled. Like you notice you don't see that many Proud Boys anymore. You don't see that many like you know how in the lead up to the election, a bunch of like alt-right, far-right people would come to counter-protest the protest. And you don't really see them anymore. You don't see that many people going to a rally or going to like an anti-ICE protest and being on the side of ICE and standing across from those people. And I think that's because they're in ICE now.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I'm not sitting here being like the ICE agents don't know what they did and they don't know how bad this is and how they look. Or I'm saying that like even that guy is next to someone who probably loves this, who's probably wanted this all his life. It gives him some purpose, and he's being paid while he's doing it. He gets to antagonize people, and he has a gun, and he has a mask. He gets to do the internet in person.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think there are some people that are like, geez, like.
From a strictly selfish perspective, this is not working out as I had hoped it would. Yeah.
Exactly. And so I think that even within 20,000 ICE agents, and I'm sure they'll hire more or whatever, but like even within those, I don't think you have 20,000 true believers.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have probably, if I had to guess, maybe half of them are deep, true believers and like they're willing to harass anyone. Because you saw with the Uber driver who started recording them and they were like, where's your documentation? How I know you're a citizen? You got an accent. Your accent's different than mine. Like they're getting to do race dog whistles in person and they have the power to arrest someone behind it. Yeah. So this is like a Nazi's dream. This is like a modern day white supremacist dream. At the same time, though, I'm telling you, there are people. It's why they leave when they get pelted with snowballs. It's like you can see in some of those videos where enough of a crowd gathers and they're like, this is not worth it.
Yeah.
This is like not worth it at all.
Yeah.
And if I shoot someone, they will find my name.
Yes. Especially now because a lot of them are online.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure it's going to come out the online tendencies of those people.
Yeah, totally.
Like I feel like, a lot of stuff's going to be exposed. And I think that's why there's this push now. Because if you can set the precedent now that like when ICE shows up, everybody like gets down or lays down, then I think you could take that to each city. But if they have a lot of trouble in Minnesota and they're not really getting as many recruits.
When you say you can take that to each city, it sounds like they're doing like a road show.
I mean,
it sounds like they're doing
I think they are.
Stand-up tour.
Yeah, I think they are doing like as best of a road show as they can. I think that Trump has like a couple failed tours on his record now. It's like what did going to LA do?
Yeah.
What did going to Memphis do? What did going to DC do?
Mm-hmm.
What is that really? And how did that help you? Because you're less popular now. Like I don't
These are questions that we cannot answer because the answers exist within the mind of Donald Trump.
Yeah, which is like soup, like alphabet soup.
It's
when that man got up and just looked
out the window. That was crazy.
I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense for where we are. Yeah. Like that.
He's 80 years old.
Yeah.
It's time to go look out the window now.
I then look out the window and go, wow.
Yeah.
Sir, you're still on the ground. If you were looking out the window of a plane and you said, wow, I'd be like, yes, that is, the clouds are majestic.
Yeah.
This man looked out.
At a construction site.
Wow. And then came back and sat down.
Yeah.
And you could tell everybody was like,
yeah.
And that's what I mean. That's like that moment of realization of like, oh, his brain is soup.
Yeah.
It's like, I wonder if they're having that for other orders. I think that someone like a Stephen Miller loves that thing because he can just tell Trump stuff. Right. And then Trump ends up like fake tweeting the thing that he just said or letting Stephen Miller do it. I don't know.
He just did that with dog sleds. He was like, they were like, I'm paraphrasing. We just watched this clip, but he was like, Greenland's not up to protecting itself. They said they were going to increase their military power and they sent out an extra dog sled. And it was like, no, that is something that like Stephen Miller and your White House tweeted as a joke.
Yeah.
And then you repeated it.
Yeah. It is, it is scary. that somebody can like give themselves psychosis like that. Do you know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks. Like I'm thankful that I do come from a good family, but having Trump as president must feel like. You ever met somebody whose dad was just like a loser? And then they had to like slowly come to the realization of like, oh no, or like it's like when you're
he's not home all the time because he cares about me.
Yeah, it's like no, he keeps trying to not be home, and the world is like, you should go home.
Yeah.
Like this man is applying for jobs. And every job is like, what if you just spend a little extra time with your kids?
Yeah.
That's devastating to like have a leader whose brain is such soup, and like not like cold soup. like a cold racist alphabet soup that just like the only letters in the alphabet soup are slurs.
Yeah, the only letters in the alphabet soup are hard R's.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what's been going on, but there's going to be a whole new world of news next week. So let's talk about some things we might cover. On the lighter side, Oscar nominations.
Yeah.
It's crazy that stuff like that is still happening, but it is.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anything will ever stop an award show. I think we would have an award show over the rubble if we had to.
Yeah, nuclear bombs would be going off, and we would still get an award show.
Yeah. So we'll see. Are you rooting for anybody specific? I'm
rooting for Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster.
Okay.
He was so good.
Oh, okay. I haven't watched it yet.
It's in my opinion a little bit long. And it's like true-ish to the source material, but Jacob Elordi in particular as the creature I think is great. I think he's really good. I'm rooting for Tiana Taylor because I thought she was awesome in one battle after another. What about you?
I think anything. I don't know all the nominations, to be honest. So like
that's what's coming out next week. So the nominations haven't been announced yet.
Well, I just mean like I don't know who's eligible for what.
Oh,
but
right.
I'm big on Sinners, and I'm especially big on Sinners because of this is what I would like to have happen. I would like to have Ryan Coogler, Sinners, Michael B. Jordan, the entire cast and crew sweep everything, because then I think that it would make the people who are even more established than Ryan Coogler or the people coming up that are like studio darlings demand the same deal as Ryan Coogler. I think that there was a weird, maybe I don't know enough. You can let me know in the comments. I don't know what I'm talking about because maybe I just don't know what I'm talking about. But I feel like there was such a weird setup that took place in Hollywood with Ryan Coogler where he got that deal and then it felt like there was a unified effort to take him, the movie, and the idea of that deal down.
Yeah. And
it's like, y'all made the deal. Like that's wild that y'all would make the deal and then be like, we messed up. We looked at the math and we got to sabotage this guy now.
Yes.
Which
is crazy because Sinners is like one of the best movies of the year. It was so good.
One of the best movies of the year. It was actually a high-grossing film, and it's like things like that will save movies and actually save Hollywood. But greed is a sick poison. It really is. It's like there are people right now that would rather have no Hollywood and not their job than to watch people come up and get theirs. And that's like such a deep sickness to me. It's insane. It's like there are people that are genuinely so greedy. It's not even your money and you want to help. Like you even saw the publications come out and be like, Sinners made 100 million, but it didn't make 200 million. And it's like, why are you working then? Like why? Like you know what I mean? Like as a writer, why are you working? I found so much of that stuff just so sickening. And don't get me wrong, it's like if you are Michael B. Jordan, if you're Ryan Coogler, or if you're anybody involved with the creative process of this movie, the success speaks for itself. You don't actually need their awards. Like we don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember who won Best Picture in '96. And I'm sure it was a good movie, but like we don't remember that thing. Like the real staying power are the deals that get made and the creative that comes out. So like to me, I just am really rooting for them, because I think that the only way forward for movies, the only way forward for creatives is to start being able to like double and triple down on your worth and your efforts. And I think that the model of this one guy greenlighting all this stuff and basically deciding the landscape of entertainment is dying.
It's crazy. Hollywood was one of the most successful businesses on the planet for a century.
Yeah.
And then I understand that like technology and social media and the way that we consume media has changed and stuff, but they have broken the business for no reason. So that now a thing that used to print money is like impossible for anybody to make a living in anymore.
Yeah, and especially that's after you factor in like Hollywood accounting.
Yeah.
That's after you factor in fraud.
Yeah.
They'll do fraud and they still don't have money.
Yeah.
And it's like they do have money, but they don't have money. They have to look like they don't have money, but they have all the money.
Yes.
So it's still technically printing money. It's just printing money for 3 people now.
Yeah. The printer's just located in one guy's house.
Yes. And so I'm rooting for anybody who looks like they are at least giving a chance to subvert some of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure the Oscars will be great. Yeah.
Okay, let's close things out with a segment called Daily Show and Tell, which is where we talk about something that we've watched or read or listened to or argued about or just been on our minds lately. So I'll go first. This came up. I wasn't actually going to do this today, but this came up in a conversation that I was having upstairs, and I feel like I talk about this all the time. I hope I didn't say this on a previous episode of the podcast, but Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has written a series of Sherlock Holmes books, which are actually about Sherlock's smarter brother, Mycroft Holmes, and they're awesome. They're so good, and I recommend. I'm not a big audiobooks gal because I like to read, but the guy who reads the audiobooks is really good, and I recommend them. I think everybody should listen to them, and it's about the Holmes brothers, and it is within like the lore of Sherlock Holmes, but it is also about like Mycroft Holmes' wife and his footman who are from Trinidad. It is very like, I would say, true to the Sherlock Holmes canon, while also like introducing fun new stuff from Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's perspective. And I think it's really good. And the reason this came up is we were talking about somebody, I don't remember if it was Trump or somebody in his cabinet, did a racist accent. Although whenever Trump tries to do an impression of somebody, this is the voice he does, where it's like, I don't know if you're trying to do a Chinese accent or what. That was nothing.
Yeah.
But somebody did an accent, and we were trying to determine if it's like ever appropriate to like do a Chinese accent. And I was like, well, in these audiobooks that I listened to, the narrator is a black guy from England, and there is a Chinese character who he gives a little touch, just a little soupçon of an accent to, that I think is very tastefully done.
Yeah.
That I think is like, if you're ever going to do it, it has to be at exactly the level that this guy nails, I think.
We are very tense about accents because we don't know anything about any other country but how they sound.
Yeah.
And that's what's doing it. Like I'm never offended by people when I go overseas and people try to do an American accent. I'm like, that actually, one, that does sound like somebody. Like, y'all have watched enough of our TV that you're spot on. And then two, you don't have to be insecure about doing my accent to me because you like know about our foreign policy.
Yeah.
I think that, do you know what I mean? Like when you know nothing about someone and then you just kind of do a caricature, that's what feels so offensive.
Yeah.
But if you're like, no, I actually know. Okay, here's the best example I can give you. There was this guy who was, I was with some friends, and there was this one guy who these people were speaking, I think they were speaking Japanese. And so he called out to them and was, speaking Japanese. And then our other friend, because we didn't really know this guy's someone's boyfriend. But then they didn't hear him and they just walked away, right? And it was a perfect misunderstanding because then our other friend started chewing this guy out for being so racist. And then he had to be like, no, I speak Japanese. I was trying to ask them a question and they didn't hear me. We actually know so little about the culture. We know it down to like kind of the sound, to where she didn't even realize this person was actually speaking great Japanese. And so she was like, you must be being racist. There's no way you speak Japanese.
Japanese is also like particularly tough for Americans, but white people in particular, because a lot of terms in Japanese are just the English word with a Japanese accent. So to do it right, it feels racist. So my friend Raleigh, who I don't know if you know him, he has the Climate Town YouTube show. He also runs a billiards channel, and he used to work for a billiards company in Japan. And so they flew him over one time, and he was playing pool with this guy who only spoke Japanese. And his translator was like, "Hey, I got to run to the bathroom. I have to like run out for a few minutes. I'll be right back." And Raleigh was like, "Okay, no problem. If I'm playing pool with this guy, if I want to say like great shot, how would I say that to him?" And the translator was like, I guess you would say great shot. And Raleigh was like, I'm not gonna do that. I super cannot do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, that is the end of my daily show and tell. Do you, Josh, have a daily show and tell for us?
I think for me, I was listening to this podcast and I didn't realize how when you talk about early tech in some things, like you're talking like 70s all the way to 2000, like some of the tech feels fake. If you talk about tech that hasn't happened yet, it feels like sci-fi and it feels like so futuristic. Like, yeah, what if you could just like stand on this little platform and it was a hoverboard to work or whatever, right? Yeah. But then if you go back and you describe how something used to work, that also sounds insane. And so I was listening to this podcast about some of the first hackers and the inputs that they needed. They were basically, sometimes they were hacking computers, but if they got it like one digit off, it would just be calling someone's phone. And I heard that and I was like, how is that possible? And now like once it was explained of dial up and like all that stuff, I was like, okay, I still don't even know how hacking works, but I was like, okay, I kind of almost get what you're saying. But like apparently some of the early hackers who were just trying to do mischief, like they weren't like, you know,
this was not Edward Snowden trying to make a
there was no like
statement.
black hat or like anonymous thing. It was just like, it was really kids. It was really like once kids learned that they could like eavesdrop on something, or like they could see the desktop of somebody else, they were just trying to do whatever, and so there would be so many of like the initial hacks were like technically to phones, and so nothing was happening, but it's like because you tried to like, you basically called. You could either get in someone's phone or you could accidentally call their neighbor, and that to me was like, I don't know how any technology works. I probably didn't even describe that right.
You described it enough that I understand. Did you have, when you were growing up, did you get internet when it was in the dial-up era?
Okay, so I have a quick thing about this. Actually, maybe this should be my show and tell. I was helping my mom. This is a while back. I was helping my mom move. And so we had put some stuff in a storage unit. And then it was like time to clean out the storage unit because, you know, you're paying for it, everything. And I opened this box, and this box was packed when I was much younger. And I found one of the AOL discs. And I had forgotten. Did the internet used to be on a disc?
It used to be on a CD. Well, I think the software drivers that enabled you to connect to the internet. We are now at the absolute maximum descriptive power that I have to describe technology. But I think like the software that made your computer talk to the phone line was on the disc.
So then, okay, because it felt like when I found it that I was holding some internet. Because
a piece of it fell out.
Yeah, because the disc said 90 minutes of internet. And I was like,
okay, then I think what I said was wrong. And I think there's probably one like very knowledgeable computer guy listening who's like tearing his hair out right now, who's like,
I feel
it's
bad.
not what it does.
I feel bad, but it did say 90 minutes. Like it said 90 minutes. It was printed on the CD-ROM.
So we never had AOL. Was it just once you used your 90 minutes, did they just have to send you another disc?
No, I think it was to like sample the internet.
Oh, this is what the internet is like. And then if you like what's on this disc, it's like a Costco taste test thing.
Of like, stuff on the internet. And 90 minutes is not enough considering, like, even if you wanted to go, let's say you wanted to go to like a lewd website back in the day. To load, it takes forever. To load, it loaded the way a printer printed back then.
We had inkjet internet.
Yeah, so now printers just spit the thing out.
Line by line.
But like you would line, image, and then like it would conk out like middle of the page or whatever. You have to use your imagination. And so I think that finding that for me, I was like, I have truly no idea how the internet works if there is some internet on this disc right now.
Can I tell you the most embarrassing thing about my personal internet history is that the first email address that I ever had was like Nicole524 or whatever at Garfield.com because my grandma set it up for me.
But what?
And at the time, I think I had like a pair of Garfield slippers or something. And so my grandma was like, got it. She loves Garfield. You're getting a Garfield.com email address.
Can you just make your email address any website?
So for a while, Garfield was so popular and held such a place in our culture that they were like building more infrastructure around Garfield than I think he really needed. And one of them was an email server on which I operated when I was like 11 years old to mostly communicate with my grandma.
Wow. And how did you set up a forwarding? Like when you finally got like a Gmail account?
I'm sure by that point I didn't need it. I don't think when I was at Garfield.com anything important was coming in.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Okay, well, on that really timely note, I think we can wrap it up. I think that's this week precapped.
Yeah.
I've been Nicole Conlan. You can catch my pal Josh Johnson hosting The Daily Show this week on Comedy Central and Paramount Plus.
Dope.
Explore more shows from The Daily Show podcast universe by searching The Daily Show wherever you get your podcasts. Watch The Daily Show weeknights at 11, 10 Central on Comedy Central, and stream full episodes anytime on Paramount Plus.
This has been a Comedy Central podcast.